I want you to take a second and actually look at your phone. If you're anything like me, or even if you're holding that, the brand new iPhone 17 Pro, your screen is probably a disaster
The
zone.
grid of silos.
Exactly. You've got a CRM app, a notes app for random thoughts, a to-do list you haven't touched in weeks, and probably something like Asana just giving you anxiety with those little red dots.
It is the textbook definition of what we call digital fragmentation.
Yeah.
We've hit this point where we spend more energy, I think, just maintaining our tools than actually doing the work.
It's admin disguised as productivity. So the promise of the source material we're diving into today is honestly pretty radical. It's asking a terrifying question. What if you deleted almost all of that?
hmm
What if you replaced your CRM, your content planner, your deal tracker with a single continuous thread in ChatGPT?
It sounds destructive, doesn't it? Like you're burning down your filing cabinet. But that's the core of this Founder Pro mode strategy. We're looking at a guide written for a very specific person, a guy named John Domingo, who's a CTO and a drone tech broker. But the method is really a blueprint for anyone.
A blueprint for turning your phone into an AI operating system.
Right, and just to be clear, we're not talking about just, using ChatGPT more.
No, this is a fundamental shift in how the device even functions. The argument is we need to move from an app-based interface to an intelligence-based one.
You got it. The whole goal is to move from what they call a storage mindset, where you're obsessing over where to file things, to a flow mindset, speed, context, and immediate retrieval. That's it.
Okay, let's start with the most controversial rule in this whole guide, the one-thread philosophy. I have to be honest, when I first read this, my organizational brain just screamed. I start a new chat for every little thing.
Most of us do.
It's a disposable scratch pad.
It is. And the source calls this the Googleification of AI. We treat it like a search engine that just hits a reset button every time. But that's a massive waste of its most powerful feature.
Which is context.
Context. So the rule is create one master thread. He calls it the AI HQ. And you just never leave it.
He literally names it Chat Domingo AI HQ, right? That emoji is a visual anchor.
That's right. You return to it every single day.
Okay, but I have to play devil's advocate. If I'm dumping business strategy, drone deal specifics, content ideas, maybe even a grocery list into one long scroll, doesn't the AI just get confused? Doesn't it lose the plot?
That is the fear, but it's based on how AI worked, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Modern LLMs, they thrive on these huge context windows. Think of it this way.
Right.
If you hired a top-level chief of staff, do you want to reintroduce yourself every single time you walk into their office?
No, of course not. I want them to remember what I said last week and connect the dots.
Exactly. By using one thread, you're building an AI-organized brain. The AI remembers the lead from 3 weeks ago. It learns your tone. It gets you.
So disjointed chats make the AI a temp worker.
Yeah.
The single thread makes it a partner.
Precisely. It's a cumulative advantage. But, and this is a big but, you can't just dump garbage in and expect magic. You need a system. This is where the tags come in.
The tag system. I liked this part because it felt like a little bit like coding, but without having to actually know how.
Yeah.
Just simple bracketed tags.
The semantic tagging system. The guide lays out 6 core tags for this guy's whole life, basically. Founder, tech broker, leads, content, outreach, and idea vault.
So practically speaking, I'm John Domingo. I'm walking down the street, and I get an idea about indoor drone shows for corporate expos. Old me would open Apple Notes, type it out, and probably never see it again.
Graveyard of good ideas. We all have one.
Totally. So in this new system, what do?
You open the AI HQ thread, and you type, tech broker idea, indoor drone shows for corporate expos. That's it.
And what does that tag actually do for the AI? Why not just type the sentence?
The tag is a semantic anchor. It tells the AI, file this under business opportunities. You're telling the AI the intent of the data, not just the data itself.
Okay, intent. And that matters for retrieval. Because putting data in is easy. It's getting it out. That's the hard part. The source claims this thread can replace a CRM, like Salesforce. That feels like a huge stretch.
It does sound impossible, but then you see the retrieval prompts in action. Let's say you've been using the leads tag for a month. In a normal CRM, you'd be clicking through 5 screens, filtering, sorting.
It's just to see who you need to call.
Right. In this system, you just ask the thread. You literally type, list my warm leads and suggest next actions.
And because of the one-thread philosophy, it doesn't just give you a list of names.
No. It gives you context. It might say, call Ben about the drone event. He seemed interested in the AI angle last Tuesday, but was worried about the budget.
That is a huge difference. A spreadsheet knows that Ben is a lead. The AI knows why Ben is a lead.
It turns your database into a conversation. You can ask it, what are my top broker opportunities this week? And it synthesizes an answer from every single tech broker tag you've ever entered.
You aren't managing data anymore, you're just feeding a brain and asking for insights.
Which brings us to the content workflow. This was one of the strongest examples of what they call level 3 usage.
Yeah, the content tag. Everyone listening has a content ideas note somewhere that they just ignore.
We all do. In this system, you drop the idea and win the content tag. But here's the magic. Later, you don't write from scratch. You just command the AI. Turn my last 3 content ideas into video scripts.
It connects storage directly to execution.
That's the key takeaway. Storage and execution are usually 2 different apps, 2 different steps. Here, they're the same step. You go from I have an idea to here is the script in one single interaction.
Okay, so we have the structure, one thread plus tags, but the guide talks about something called the identity layer, or the secret pro mode. This seems to be the thing that separates a standard user from a power user. What is that?
It's the system prompt. It's a block of text you paste into the thread right at the very beginning that defines exactly who the AI is supposed to be.
And it's not just, you are a helpful assistant.
Far from it. That's the default, and frankly, the default is mediocre. The prompt in the source explicitly says, you are operating as my persistent AI director and technology broker assistant. It defines the style as high authority, strategic, minimal fluff.
I love that line, speed over theory.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's basically telling the AI, don't lecture me, just help me get it done.
And it gives it the business context. It knows about his companies, White Glove 247 and DroneX Tours, so its advice isn't generic, it's tailored.
It totally shifts the dynamic. You stop asking for help, and you start delegating to a subordinate.
You're the CEO, the AI is the executive partner.
Exactly. You stop saying, can you help me write this? You start saying, turn this tag into an outreach email.
Yeah.
It's a subtle but powerful shift.
Let's talk hardware. Because the guide is very specific about setting up the iPhone itself to support this. It mentions the iPhone 17 Pro, but I assume this works on any modern phone.
It does, technically.
Yeah.
But the source highlights the action button on the newer models because it's all about reducing friction. The goal is to create a push-to-think device.
The home screen setup is incredibly strict. Top row, 3 icons, center, ChatGPT widget, everything else is just gone. No Instagram, no news.
It's visual minimalism to force cognitive focus. And those 3 icons use iPhone shortcuts to trigger specific modes. You have founder mode, broker mode, and content mode.
But they all just open ChatGPT, right? Is that just window dressing?
Technically, yeah, they all wrap to the app.
Right.
But the guide makes a great point about the psychology. You don't tap an app to check messages. You tap the brain icon to enter strategy mode. It's about changing your mental state.
And it suggests using Siri for it. Hey Siri, founder mode.
This creates a voice-first workflow. It bypasses the looking for the app friction entirely. You know, if you have to swipe around, you might see that red dot on another app and get distracted.
Right.
Voice commands just bypass that whole distraction layer.
It turns the phone into a Star Trek communicator. You hit the button, you speak to the computer gets it done.
It simulates what future AI-native hardware will feel like. We're moving away from navigating user interfaces and toward navigating by intention. You state the intention broker mode, and the machine handles the rest.
So let's walk through a day in the life of someone using this, because it requires breaking some serious habits, like checking email first thing in the morning.
That's rule number 1 in the guide. Morning is for AI director mode. You do not open Gmail. You open your AI HQ and you ask, summarize my active ideas, leads, and priorities.
And because you've been feeding it all week, it can actually do that. It sets your compass for the day before the world can distract you.
It's exactly. Proactive, not reactive. Then midday is broker mode. This is where the efficiency really kicks in. Instead of staring at a blank email, you drop an outreach tag in the thread. You say, draft an email to the festival organizer about our drone show idea.
And because of the identity layer, it writes it in your voice. You just copy, paste, send.
Then the evening routine. Founder brain dump. This is so crucial. You speak all your anxieties, your random thoughts, your new ideas into the idea vault tag. You clear your head so you can actually rest.
It's a closed loop. The system captures everything, so your biological memory doesn't have to carry it all.
You trust the external brain so the internal brain can rest. That's the whole idea.
Okay, I want to push back on one thing. The source claims the system lets you operate 2-3 years ahead of typical workflows. Is that just hype? Tech bros love to exaggerate efficiency.
I was skeptical too. But I don't think it's hyperbole when you look at the time to execution. Think about how much time we lose just switching contexts. Opening the CRM, waiting for it to load, finding the record, then opening your notes, then opening email.
The friction of admin.
Yes. This system removes all of that. You aren't formatting notes or finding folders. You're just thinking. And the AI is operationalizing the thought. It collapses the stack.
There's also this interesting note that if you use the shortcuts, the AI changes its personality based on the mode.
It does. Trigger founder mode,
Mhm.
and it responds like a strategist. Trigger broker mode, it's a deal architect. Trigger content mode, and it's a creative director.
So it's not one assistant. It's a team of 3 different experts all living in one thread, sharing the same brain.
That's the secret pro mode advantage. It anticipates how you need it to think.
What about the privacy or security aspect? If my entire business brain is in one thread, what if OpenAI goes down or I lose access?
That is the single biggest risk. The source doesn't really dwell on it, but you need a backup. You should periodically ask the AI to summarize and export my critical data and save it somewhere else.
Right. Don't build your castle on rented land without a backup plan.
Exactly. But for a founder who just needs to move incredibly fast, the efficiency gain might be worth that risk.
So if I'm listening right now and I want to try this, what's step 1? Do I have to wipe my phone?
You don't have to wipe the phone, not yet.
Hmm?
Step 1 is just the one-thread commitment. Open ChatGPT right now, name a new thread, MIAIHQ, and paste in a little text defining who you are and what you do.
The identity layer.
Yep. Tell your business, your tone, your goals. Then just for 3 days, commit to using simple tags like idea or lead. Just see if you can retrieve information faster than finding it in your notes app.
It's a low-risk experiment with a potentially massive payoff.
It's all about training yourself to trust the AI memory. That trust is the hardest part.
So we've covered the one-thread philosophy, the tag system, the identity layer, and the hardware shortcuts. It really is a comprehensive overhaul.
It is. It's moving from organizing files to relying on AI memory.
And honestly, it sounds liberating. Just the idea of a home screen with 3 buttons and a clear mind.
It's the ultimate form of minimalism. Not just visual, but cognitive minimalism.
So what does this all mean for the future? Is this Founder Pro mode the end of apps?
I wouldn't say apps are dead, but their dominance as the main interface is ending. We're moving to a world where the interface is conversation. You don't navigate to a destination, you just state an intention, broker mode. The machine handles the navigation.
That's a profound shift. We've spent a decade learning how to navigate UI. Now the UI is learning how to navigate us.
Well put.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with a thought from the source that really stuck with me. This idea that the system allows you to operate 2-3 years ahead of typical workflows.
That stood out to me as well.
So here's the provocative thought for everyone listening. If this Founder Pro mode really does remove all the administrative drudgery from your life, if the AI handles the organizing, the drafting, the remembering, what is left for you to do?
That's the scary part, isn't it? When the busy work is gone, the only thing left is the quality of your ideas and your ability to make decisions.
You can't hide behind being busy anymore. You can't say, oh, I spend all day updating the CRM. If the CRM updates itself, you actually have to go close the deal.
It puts the pressure back on you to actually be strategic.
No more excuses.
The tools are getting better, so the operator has to get better.
That's it for this deep dive on the Founder Pro Mode strategy. Go set up your HQ, try the tags, and see if you can survive the digital detox. Thanks for listening.